So you missed a big meeting. You catch up with the colleague and ask, hey, how did it go? And what do you get back? Fine. Not exactly helpful, is it? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to look at a simple language trick that gets you the real concrete facts you actually need. We're talking about moving from vague updates to info you can actually act on. We have all asked this question. It's the go-to, polite, easy thing to say, but let's be honest, the answers are pretty much useless. It was good, it was fine, productive. That's not real information. That's just a way to end the conversation, and you need the details.
The problem is, it's just way too general. It practically invites a one-word answer. Plus, it puts all the pressure on your colleague to somehow guess what you think is important. It's basically an information dead end.
But don't worry, there is a much better way to go about this. A simple but really powerful technique that will unlock the exact details you need to stay in the loop and on top of your game. And you know what? It all comes down to a fundamental tool of language.
So, what is this secret weapon? It's something you definitely learned in school but probably haven't thought about since, the simple past tense. Yeah, I know, it sounds like a grammar lesson is coming, but trust me, in a professional context, this is the absolute key to unlocking precise, factual answers.
All right, so just a quick refresher. The simple past tense is all about completed actions, things that started and, crucially, finished. They agreed. She presented. The project launched. See, when your question is built around a completed action, it forces the other person's brain to remember a specific event, not just a general feeling. The answer has to be a concrete fact. And this really just breaks down into two simple patterns. On one side, you have your action-focused questions that start with did. Think, did you send the email? Did they agree? On the other side, you've got questions about a state of being using was or were. Was the client happy? Were stakeholders present? Both of these force a factual answer. Honestly, if you can master these two forms, you are golden.
Okay, let's put this into practice. First up, logistics. We're talking about the foundational questions, the who, when, and where of the meeting.
Instead of asking something vague like, was it a long meeting? Ask this. It's a simple, factual question that gets you a specific piece of data. It can tell you a lot about timing, if things ran late, and how people's schedules were respected.
Now, this is way more powerful than just asking who was there. This tells you immediately if the right people were even in the room to make a decision. The answer, a simple yes or no, has huge implications for how valid any of the outcomes actually are. Here's another great one for logistics. This helps you find the official source of truth from the meeting. When you know who the record keeper was, you know exactly who to go to for detailed notes if you need to dig a little deeper.
Okay, so with the logistics out of the way, let's get to the real meat of the meeting, the discussion itself. These questions are all about uncovering the arguments, the data, and the dynamics in the room.
You see how specific that is? You're not just asking for a summary. You're asking for the exact data points that were shared. This gets you right to the evidence that was driving the whole conversation.
This is such a critical yes or no question. It just cuts through all the fluff and gets straight to a key decision. Knowing the answer to this one question could completely change your priorities for the rest of the week.
And you know, this technique isn't just for hard data. You can absolutely use it to get a feel for the human element, the mood, the politics, the whole atmosphere. Was it friendly or was it tense? That context can be just as important as any decision that was made.
Ah, a classic. This one moves beyond just what was talked about to what was actually decided. The answer gives you a concrete to-do list of tasks and responsibilities moving forward.
And finally, let's talk about outcomes. The discussion is done, so now what? These questions are all about confirming the results and nailing down what happens next.
This question is all about confirmation. Was a decision actually finalized, or is it still up for debate? Knowing this can prevent you from wasting a ton of effort on something that's already been settled. This is all about understanding the momentum. The answer here tells you if the issue was solved in one shot or if it's going to be a longer process. It's a great way to gauge just how complex the outcome really is.
And to wrap it up, a question about communication. This confirms whether the loop has been closed and if the outcomes have been properly documented and shared with everyone else on the team.
Okay, let's just step back for a second. It doesn't matter if you're in law, business, tech, whatever. This isn't just about asking better questions after one meeting. It's really about mastering a foundational skill for clear, professional communication.
The path to fluency here is actually pretty clear.
You start with this one simple rule that lets you ask precise questions, which in turn gets you the critical information you need. But here's the real magic. Once you master asking questions about the past, you'll realize it's the perfect blueprint for asking about the present and the future too. And this, right here, is the most important takeaway. The tenses in English often follow very similar rules and structures. So once you're truly comfortable building questions about what did happen, it becomes so much easier to ask about what will happen or what has been happening. It truly is the essential foundation for communicating like a pro.
So now it's over to you. The next time a colleague walks out of a critical meeting, you're going to be ready. Instead of hitting them with, "How was it?" you'll have a whole toolkit of precise, powerful questions. The only thing left to decide is, what's the very first detail you'll ask for?